I want to thank you for coming to this talk and viewing this presentation to talk about cyberbullying. It's just a review of our policies and why cyberbullying is so important for us as district staff to be aware of. First, when we talk about cyberbullying is any time that a child or student targets another student, harasses, humiliates, or embarrasses them, and uses the internet or interactive and digital technologies or mobile devices. This affects our students significantly. It can lead to depression. It can lead to lower grades for students. It can cause students to skip school to avoid interaction with those that they feel embarrassed around or those who've bullied them. It can lead to physical illness through anxiety. Our bodies respond to that. It can lead to physical illness, and it leads to a higher risk of suicide. Furthermore, students who engage in cyberbullying can face serious legal consequences. There have even been instances where a student who was cyberbullied by a group of students and died by suicide when charges of manslaughter were filed against those students. So it's very serious, and it's something that we need to work to prevent. And then the last thing to be mindful of is that when cyberbullying occurs, if we don't intervene, it has a viral effect, and it can negatively impact our entire school culture. Bullying creates bullies. And so cyberbullying actually can do this viral thing where it engages all of the students in a particular school. All students are at risk of cyberbullying. 7 in 10 students will experience cyberbullying before the age of 18, and this number is only increasing. However, the following groups have shown to be more likely to experience cyberbullying: our LGBTQ students, our students with disabilities, our students from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, and our female students. And we want to be schools where everyone is included and made to feel safe and welcome just as they are. And so it is very important that we do all that we can to care for these students who are at high risk. Here's some examples of what cyberbullying can look like. It can look like exclusion, leaving students out of particular things or conversations. It can look like harassing or unwanted comments. It can look like outing something that a student doesn't want to be public knowledge and making it public knowledge for all the world to see on the internet. It can include hacking a student's account. For example, hacking, I know students don't do Facebook anymore, but hacking a student Facebook account and changing pictures and information to make harmful or embarrassing statements about a student. And the same way, students could create a fake account for another student that they wanted to bully and then engage in harmful behaviors or embarrassing behaviors using that account and using their name. It can involve dissing, tricking, trolling, catfishing, which was made famous by an MTV show that some of us are old enough to remember, which is where you create a fake dating identity to try and embarrass another person or to lure personal information from them. Just some cyberbullying numbers to be aware of. In 2010, 60% of school principals reported having to address cyberbullying. In 2016, that number was 80%. My guess is in 2021, it is much higher. I personally don't know any school principals who do not have to deal with cyberbullying. Interestingly as well, I think sometimes we're inclined to believe, well, if we just got rid of cell phones, that would solve the problem. But the same research suggested that districts that allowed phones on campus, just like ours does, actually had fewer reported instances than those who do not. And so clearly, there's far more at play here than students' access to cell phones. There are some other issues that we can be proactive about and be preventative about. Our district policy about cyberbullying is this: see something, say something. District policy requires that all staff and students report any instance of cyberbullying that they become aware of and any evidence they've gathered. Cyberbullying for staff can be reported to school guidance counselors, school therapists, or administrators. Students have access to all those same people, and they can also report anonymously any cyberbullying activity or any bully activity at all via a link at the front page of our school website. And there's a little button on there where you can report bullying anonymously. And then our interventions in these instances when cyberbullying occurs on school property, this includes not just being on the grounds, but the MacBooks and iPads that we provide for students, those are considered school property. In those instances, our interventions could include parent contact, training for parents or for staff, student mediation, loss of access to school technology, the filing of a police report in some instances, suspension, detention, and others as deemed appropriate. Even when cyberbullying occurs off property, we are still responsible when we are aware of it to say something and to do all we can to prevent it. And so if we become aware of cyberbullying that occurs on devices that don't belong to the school district and other places, but it's happening between students in our school, we need to say something so that our school can intervene. And so in those instances, possible interventions can include student mediation with a school therapist, a police report, or parent contact. And in some instances, I've had conversations with colleagues where they've asked, why are these our responses? Why not just have a zero tolerance policy? Well, research suggests that zero tolerance policies and public shaming, any kind of formal sanctions that are guaranteed, are actually less effective than mediation and positive student engagement and working hard to create a positive and inclusive school climate that involves everyone in ending cyberbullying. Also, legal grounds for school intervention are mixed, and so schools that have been legally successful in defending their means of intervention are those that use specific language to define cyberbullying, who have graduated consequences, who've attempted remediation, who offer methods for preventing, reporting, and investigating cyberbullying. And then lastly, these are some ways that we can empower our students to fight cyberbullying by encouraging them to report it to the school, to collect evidence, screenshots if they see something, to report to apps or games or tech companies, to Facebook or Snapchat or whatever when they see inappropriate behavior happening, to talk to an adult, to be caring toward bullied friends, to tell bullies to stop if they know them, to not encourage the behavior. Don't forward something, don't comment on it, don't like it, to avoid angry posting or threatening retaliation, which then can only escalate a situation, and to involve others, including school staff, in supporting bullied students and in preventing bullying. Thank you. This is a presentation for students for our school, just reviewing cyberbullying and what our policies are about cyberbullying so that we can work together to make our school an inclusive and positive place for all students to be. Cyberbullying happens when any student targets another student to harass, humiliate, or embarrass them, and uses the internet, interactive and digital technology, or mobile devices. And cyberbullying has very serious consequences for everybody involved. Some of those consequences can be depression for students who are being bullied, lower grades, skipping school to avoid being seen by anyone because they feel embarrassed, or particularly to avoid their bully. It can manifest in physical illnesses, actually, and it increases the risk of suicide. For students who engage in cyberbullying, they can face serious legal consequences. There are even instances where a student died by suicide, and those students who cyberbullied them were charged with manslaughter. And then also, cyberbullying then creates other bullies, and it can lead to a virus effect where by bullying someone, you then become bullied. And it kind of continues, and it creates a school that is not the place we want our school to be. And so who's at risk of this? Well, actually, all of us are at risk. 7 in 10 students, so 7 in 10 of us in this room, that's 70% of us, will experience cyberbullying before the age of 18, and that number is only increasing. However, the following groups of people are even more likely to experience cyberbullying: our LGBTQ students, students with disabilities, students from different socioeconomic backgrounds, and female students. And we want DeSoto High School to be the kind of place where all students are loved and welcomed and valued and feel safe, whoever they are. And we want this to be an inclusive place for all students. And so it's very, very important that we be aware of and do all that we can to prevent cyberbullying and to make all groups of students feel welcome, safe, and at home and empowered here at DeSoto. Here's what cyberbullying looks like. It's anytime we exclude someone on purpose using social media, when we harass them or send them unwanted comments, when we out them, when we tell something about them that they don't want other people to know. It's anytime you hack somebody else's account, even if it's something like someone leaves their cell phone laying down and you pick it up and they're logged into their Snap account and you take a picture or make a statement pretending to be them, or say something about them. That's a form of cyberbullying. Any creating of a fake account for harmful reasons, dissing, tricking, trolling, catfishing, which is where you can create a fake dating identity to try and harm someone or to gather personal information about them. And so here's what our school policy is about cyberbullying. If you see something, say something. Our district requires that all staff, all teachers, and all students report any instance of cyberbullying that you become aware of and share any evidence that you've gathered. Cyberbullying can be reported to school guidance counselors, to school therapists, or to administrators. It's reported anonymously so that your name isn't used. In fact, you have access on your phone, on your laptop, on our school's front webpage. There's an anonymous button that you can push, and it will allow you to report any form of bullying anonymously here at DeSoto High School. And then here's how we will respond to that. If cyberbullying occurs on school property, that includes if you're at home but you're on the school laptop or iPad, you are on school property. Or if you're on school grounds using your own phone or on district transportation. Some possible things that can occur, consequences of that. Number one, always there will be parent contact. We'll attempt student mediation and try to talk with guidance counselors so that we can learn how not to do that to others. It can lead to the loss of your school technology. In some instances, things can lead to a police report, to suspension, to detention, or other behaviors deemed appropriate. If cyberbullying occurs off of school property, if you are at home on your cell phone, but you are bullying another student of DeSoto High School, and we become aware of it, we will still intervene. And legally, it has been shown that we have the right to do that to try and make our school a safe place for everyone. And so those interventions can include student mediation with a school's therapist, to police report if someone's been harmed or threatened, and parent contact. And so here are some ways we can all work together to fight cyberbullying at our school. Whether it's on campus or off campus, we encourage you to report it to the school. You'll be treated anonymously. You can report it to somebody, to an adult at school you trust, or you can use the anonymous button on the school website. Collect evidence, take screenshots, report to apps, games, tech companies. If somebody's doing inappropriate things online, don't just tell us, but report that comment or whatever it may be to the appropriate tech company. Talk to a trusted adult. Be caring toward your bullied friends. If you know a friend is being bullied, care for them and be supportive of them. If you know someone who is bullying someone else, stand up for others and tell them to stop, and do everything you can not to encourage the behavior. Don't forward things, don't comment on them or like them. And then if you're involved in these situations at all, please avoid angry posting or threatening retaliation or making kind of bold emotional statements online. Those can escalate things and make it worse. Instead, just kind of get off of social media and talk to someone face to face. And then involve all of us and be part of our team here at the school to support bullied students and to prevent bullying, so that together we can make DeSoto High School the kind of place where everyone is welcome. Thank you. This lesson supports standard NLS 6 by creating a tool for educating staff and students on legal and preventative issues related to cyberbullying in order to protect student well-being. It's relevant and added to my learning by encouraging me to review research related to cyberbullying so that I may more effectively assist schools in preventing, recognizing, and investigating instances that occur. This assignment will influence my decisions as a future building leader by providing me with an understanding of school responsibility and opportunity to prevent cyberbullying on and off campus, and providing me with research-based ways of intervening in instances of cyberbullying to protect and encourage the safety of all students. These are the references that I used. Thank you.